attacked Kissy Missy. After defeating Catnap through the prototype and moving the red smoke over to the left tube in the gas production zone, we meet up with Poppy and she begins to praise us for everything that we've done. She then says that we deserve to know the truth of what happened to Playtime Co. and presents a tape to us that they like to call the Hour of Joy. And after watching this, Kissy Missy comes through the large door on the left and helps bring us down to the bottom of the room via an elevator. And Poppy lets Kissy Missy know that we'll send the lift back up to her once we reach the bottom. But as we're going down, all we can hear is Kissy Missy screaming and stomping around, with Poppy trying her absolute best to get back to her.
All right, once we hit the ground, we need to be cautious. There's something... What? What's she doing? No! We're coming! Just hold on! Come on, go faster! Kissy!
And with that, the chapter ends. But who could have attacked Kissy Missy? Why did they do it? And how will this change things moving forward? Well, I have 3 theories for what could have happened to her. But let's start with the least likely. When Kissy Missy is first being attacked, listen to the very first noise she makes. Sound familiar? Well, this is actually the exact same noise Huggy Wuggy makes when he jump scares us. But why would Kissy Missy make this noise in the first place? Well, lots of people are led to believe that it was actually Huggy Wuggy himself that made the first noise. But if we were to assume that both of them were in the room, then it would make the rest of the attack make 0 sense. On top of the screaming, you can hear Kissy Missy stomping around, but you can't hear any other footsteps. If Huggy Wuggy was the one to attack her, the footsteps would have been either doubled or a lot more rapid. Plus, how would Huggy Wuggy even have gotten there in the first place? And why would he immediately attack Kissy Missy? I can somewhat understand the second part, as the reason he attacked us in the first chapter is likely just because he was starving. This is because before the Hour of Joy happened, Huggy Wuggy was said to be very obedient with the staff and normally didn't lash out. But things started to slowly take a turn for the worse once Huggy Wuggy started to be influenced by the prototype. And so he ended up only being hostile when provoked to being a relentless killer. But what about him actually being alive in the first place? During the end of chapter 1, we can clearly see Huggy Wuggy falling deep into the depths of Playtime Co. And the only chance he could have had at surviving is if he landed in a large body of water. Now, we're seen to be navigating through bodies of water throughout chapter 3, but it's highly unlikely that this was enough to break Huggy Wuggy's fall. Plus, I don't think the water that we see in chapter 3 is right below Poppy's walkway. But who else could have attacked Kissy Missy? Now, everyone's instinctive answer for the attack is the prototype, but we actually have nothing proving this. It's been shown that the prototype will only become involved with a toy who is either already dead or is on the verge of death. And if he were to not stick by this, it would completely change why the prototype is keeping himself hidden as much as possible in the first place. But it is possible that the prototype had some type of involvement with the attack. And for this, we have to go all the way back to the playhouse. After we find Dog Day in one of the jail cells, he starts to tell us how he got in this position, and during his dialogue, he says this.
We tried to fight it. The prototype's control.
Now, this can be taken one of 2 ways. The first is the prototype actually being able to manipulate your mind and turn you evil, and the second is the prototype just having a bunch of control over all the other toys, meaning it would be very difficult to defy him. If we were to go with the first way, it's possible that the prototype started to try and control Kissy Missy and turn her evil, which is why we don't hear anyone else stomping around or screaming. All of this could be mental for Kissy Missy, admits to the prototype, putting all of his trust into him and allowing himself to be a part of him, with the prototype's plan being to make himself and Catnap stronger in the endgame. Now, what do I mean a part of him? Well, if you remember what happened back in chapter 2, after surviving Mommy Longlegs' rigged hide and seek game and just barely escaping into a nearby room, the player then traps Mommy Longlegs in a grinder and activates the lever. brutally killing her. But after this, a mysterious claw-like hand appears from the bottom of the partially closed door and drags Mommy's severed torso into the dark before the door to the right opens and the player is let back into the game station. But listen to what Mommy Longlegs says as she's being killed.
What have you done? You'll make me part of him!
Now, judging by the few glimpses of Prototype that we see, that being his claw, it's pretty safe to assume that this thing probably doesn't have the right type of body to do everything himself, which is why he has Catnap and a bunch of other toys under his command. And him dragging away Mommy Longlegs after her death is probably because he plans to use her attributes to turn himself into this undefeatable monster. But this is most likely his solution to if the other toys fail to kill us. But if they succeed, they get to roam around as normal. Now, going back to Catnap, I'm led to believe there's a chance that he would still be okay with the Prototype killing him, even if he was informed of this before it happening. As again, Catnap sees the Prototype as his god, and if the Prototype told Catnap that he's doing it to save everyone, or told him that he's going to be rebirthed into something far greater, I don't think that he would fight back at all. But now for my third theory, which includes me still thinking that the Prototype still killed Catnap due to him failing to kill us. But I think that the Prototype already planned on doing this, but seeing that we were still alive caused a change of plans. If we were to stick to the theory that the Prototype doesn't have the right body to do what he wants, then he would obviously either need assistance from the other toys, or he would need part of their body altogether. And judging by what he's already done with Mommy Longlegs, it's pretty safe to assume that he won't have the toys a part of his plans the entire time. I'm led to believe that Catnap, along with some of the other toys being under Prototype's command, is temporary, and in the end he'll kill them off and use their parts to make him stronger. So if Catnap did succeed in killing us, there might have been a chance that the Prototype would either still kill him because he finished his objective and the Prototype doesn't need him as an individual anymore, or he would prepare him for some type of merging process later on to where he's still able to use his parts. But perhaps in the next chapter we'll be able to get an answer on why this happened, because if you think about it, if the Prototype didn't pop up at the end of chapter 3, we would have most likely still been killed by Catnap despite us fighting back, as right after the flames subside and Catnap sees the Prototype, he gets up and starts to pray to him as nothing happened. So in a weird way, the Prototype saved us from being killed by Catnap, and we might even get to see what he's been doing with all the deceased toys. Who knows? He could be putting himself together with Huggy Wuggy's teeth, Mommy Longlegs' long limbs, and now Catnap's gas, or more specifically his respiration system, as that's where the gas comes from. But let me know down in the comments why you think the Prototype killed Catnap. Thanks for watching, subscribe, and click on this video right here.